Thanks for listening to Live Forever Young Radio. September is Self-Improvement Month, and Live Forever Young Radio is all about helping others improve. Taking action is one of the most important things to remember when it comes to self-improvement. On the show this week, Bob and Rollie talk about the magic of taking action and how it can inspire you to achieve more. They share some easy ways to get up off the couch and start improving your health and your life at the same time. So sit back, relax, and get ready to live forever young.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Live Forever Young Radio. I'm Bob. I'm here with Rollie.
How's it going, Bob?
Welcome. Nice hat.
Thank you.
You're looking very
Dapper.
spiffy,
Oh,
ready
spiffer?
to go.
That's good. Spiffy, dapper, whatever.
It's always good to get together with you and have a chat about health and wellness and things like that.
This is my highlight of my day.
Hey, man. And now it's September.
Yes.
And this is September 2021.
Yes, it is.
And September is National Self-Improvement Month.
Right. National Self-Improvement Month. Right. Me and Bob were looking on the internet, and we saw this really cool banner that said September is Self-Improvement Month. And we said, what a better thing than to bring to our audience.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of things people can do to work on themselves for improvement. But a lot of the research shows that people can write down goals and maybe have some task lists and things like that. And that helps a little bit in your brain to motivate you. But there's something magic about taking action.
Right.
Yeah. And this action that you take where you actually do something, where you get up and move and do something, or you're at your computer and you turn on the webinar you're going to watch to learn something new. It's that action that begins to wire your brain towards success and the desire to continue on and stack up these accomplishments during the month. So we're going to be sending out emails frequently during the month that are going to be little snippets about self-improvement with links to various videos, podcasts, blog posts, so that people can follow along with us.
Exactly.
Open the email, click on the links, and use it as kind of your guide for self-improvement.
Yeah, and one of the best things is that, when you work out with somebody, it's a lot easier because you have someone there with you, right? So that's kind of where we try to give you some reminders and give you some good advice and kind of spur you to take action, because you were talking about the magic of taking action. And for me, that's kind of true, right? If you're sitting there and you're thinking about what you're going to do, you kind of complicate it and you make it sound in your head a lot harder than what actually it ends up being. And so for me, when I take action, that magic is realizing, man, this was a lot easier than I thought. Let me go do it 4 or 5 more times, whatever it takes to get the job done. And then what else can I do? Like it's September, right? So the trees are growing and it's time to trim them. So I was looking at it, I was like, oh man, those are high up, and oh man, I don't want to do it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, let me just get the thing out. And so I get out my my thing on the pole with the chainsaw, and I'm that was easy. That was easy. And so I did the whole tree in like 10, 15 minutes.
And now you're inspired to clean the rest of the yard. Right. So here's another thing, Rollie. This is September 2021. There's a lot going on in the world, a lot going on here in the United States, and a lot of people are kind of feeling their way, right? Not everyone's back to work yet. Some people are thinking about changing careers.
A lot,
Other people are worried about all the things that are in the news, and some people are getting very complacent as a result.
Right.
So I think that September is a good time to really adjust your attitude, right? And once you have things that you want to do, things you want to accomplish, what do I want for this month? What do I want to do most? This is where it's time now to get aggressive, right? A lot of people think of aggressive as bad. They'll say, oh man, that person's so aggressive.
Right.
Well, it can be bad, but it can also be good, because if you have something that you want to go after, say you really want to get your act together with your exercise regime, okay? It's not going to really work if you just kind of think it might be a good idea, right? This has to be a solemn commitment that's in your mind with a really good attitude about it and an aggressiveness. I'm going after this, right? And it's okay to be aggressive with yourself, right? So it's like, you have this one self that's kind of talking, and you have the other self that's over here that's kind of procrastinating, and one needs to overpower the other. And in order for that to happen, it has to be aggressive. Come on, let's do it. Let's get going. I'm really going to do it this time.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we live in Tampa Bay, so I would think that aggression would be something that a champion would know because, like you said, it's something they dedicate their life to. And if they get out there and they're in the game and they're not being aggressive, and, you know, we don't want to talk about, like, hurting people. We're talking about, like you said, making the solemn commitment to focus and accomplish the goal that you're in right now or that you're looking towards or whatever it is that you're doing. That solemn commitment can be associated with aggression, making it happen.
And the other thing is it's okay to be defensive. That might sound counterintuitive. People say, oh, that person's so defensive. What's the matter with him, right? We're not talking about that. We're talking about being defensive with yourself and for yourself, right? So I'm defensive because I'm not going to allow that doubt to creep in. I'm standing guard at the door of my mind against doubt, against procrastination, right? Against fear.
Right.
I'm very defensive against those negative things. Why? Because you don't want that to be part of your life, right? So it's like, yeah, I'm defensive. I'm saying no to fear. And whenever fear comes around, I'm defensive. I'm pushing it away, right? So you're being defensive in a positive way.
A positive defensiveness.
Yeah, and it's like this is okay. And so if you start the month with this attitude, yeah, I've got a great attitude about this. I got my goals, and I'm going to aggressively go after my goals. And if something comes that might try to block me, I'm going to be defensive.
Right.
Okay. Now, at the same time, you don't want to get into such a worked up, aggressive attitude that you might be unkind to someone else, right? Or insensitive to their feelings.
Right.
And this is where you can balance it with NVC, right? Nonviolent communication.
We talk about that a lot. We've got a show we did.
Yeah, there's a whole show on that.
Yes, check it out.
And so if you're very skillful with nonviolent communication, and you are able to focus in on other people's feelings and what their needs are, and what's a reasonable request, right? While at the same time, you're being aggressive for your own goals, defensive against potential obstacles, but while you're working with other people, you're using NVC. Now you have a good balance, you have a commitment to yourself to improve, and you have a sensitivity towards others. And this gives you a really dynamic combination of skills,
tools
that can that can move you towards your goals. So if it's exercise and you're the type of person, like a lot of people in the United States, where 60% of the people are overweight, right? They don't do a lot of exercise. Why? Well, it's easier not to. It's easier to sit on the couch, right? So what's a tool that can help you to exercise in addition to feeling aggressive? Use the emotional freedom technique. Use tapping, right? Tapping for procrastination.
Exactly.
It's very easy as you tap on your fingertips, which you can learn to do in one of our other podcasts.
Actually, yeah, it's called Tap Away Stress and Anxiety. Check it out. It's actually a really good one. But
so when you learn tapping, you can apply it to procrastination.
You can apply it to other things.
If September Self-Improvement Month, procrastination is probably the biggest obstacle, right?
Usually.
So you tap on your fingertips and repeat a phrase that says, even though up until now, I thought I had to continue to sit here on the couch watching TV instead of getting up to go exercise, I completely love and accept myself anyway. And I'm so grateful now that I realize I'm getting up off the couch, I'm lacing up my sneakers, and I'm heading outside for a walk up over the bridge and back. And I'm feeling completely peaceful about the whole thing. right?
Right.
Cross your hands over your heart and breathe in, right? Let it out. Now you've anchored this new affirmation you just made
Right.
about getting up off the couch to a peaceful feeling, and so there's no resistance.
Exactly.
Because there's no anxiety with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The anxiety, oh God, I got to get up off the couch. Now I'm feeling anxiety. I have to exercise. And if I don't go exercise, then I'm going to feel guilty.
Right.
So now you have anxiety about it. Tapping eliminates the anxiety, and you will find yourself magically rising up off the couch to go exercise.
Like we said before.
Yeah.
Magic.
Like
Action.
magic.
Action is magic.
Yeah.
Take action equals magic.
It's cool, man. So here's another thing, Rollie, you mentioned earlier about self-care, right?
Oh, yeah.
So September is a great month to say to yourself, all right, what is it that I've always wanted to do in regard to self-care? Whether it's for an important health issue or an emotional issue, or if it's just because I want to go and get pampered a little bit at the massage therapist, right? And so some of the things that are really great for people's overall health is find a person that knows how to do lymph drainage therapy.
Right. Well,
in
yeah,
your
we
area.
talk about that a lot. We had a show about
Whole
that.
show on lymph.
Absolutely. Check
and you
that
can
one out.
learn to do it yourself.
Yep.
But there's nothing like going to a professional lymph therapist and having an hour-long lymph massage.
Oh, man, that
Right?
move that fluid around.
Yeah, it's really good. The other thing is craniosacral therapy.
Yeah, we've
Say-
talked about that a lot, too.
Yeah, and so you can find a craniosacral therapist in your area. There's many thousands of people trained in it. It's a really great reset for your cerebral spinal fluid, and it can also lead to, and if the therapist is also trained in what's called somato-emotional release,
Right.
you can have some really great emotional releases, right? But you don't want to go for an emotional release unless the person's trained in it.
Right.
It's not good for you if you're with a therapist that doesn't have the credentials to actually do SER.
Okay.
And so when you're looking on the UpLedger site,
Yeah, I was going to mention
UpLedger.
UpLedger Institute.
Yeah, so upledger.com, you can find a therapist. If you think you might need some emotional release, be sure that the person has the initials SER in their list of things that they've been trained in.
Okay.
All right? Because you don't want to go for SER with an untrained person. It could do you more harm than good.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So
Well, that's important. We don't need it
and
worse.
so, et cetera. Some people might say, well, yeah, I want to go and get some matrix energetics therapy. I might want to go and get some healing codes therapy.
Right.
And you can look these things up, find therapists, and September is a great month to have this type of self-care with an associate that can actually guide you who's a trained professional.
Right. And one of the easier things, I mean, like you said, you go get a massage. That'd be nice. You know, a lot of people go get their nails done or anything like that. But if you could take the time to maybe look a little deeper, see something, check into something that you might have been wanting to deal with for a while, it's a good month, September. That's why they dedicate it to self-improvement, you know.
Yeah. The other thing is sleep, right? A lot of people still don't get enough sleep.
Right.
So if you want to see our podcast about sleep,
Yes,
right?
you can check that out.
And you can also get a really, really effective sleep aid from us called Good Night Formula.
Yes, it's very good, very good formula.
And make this part of your self-improvement, because there really isn't anything that's going to help you improve faster than being well rested. It has a ripple effect on everything else in your life, right? And then also stress management, right?
Oh,
if
for
you're
sure.
going to make an improvement, how about improving your ability to deal with stress?
Oh, dude, that's one of the major things that people are dealing with right now. Like you said kind of earlier, with everything that's going on. It's September of 2021, and we've had lots of flooding in like New York and New Jersey. There's people dealing with all that, so probably not a better time than dealing with stress and anxiety, man.
You know, I found this also, Rollie. Organization is something that most people can always use improvement on.
Yeah,
And
I could.
And the best tool that I've seen for this is a planning book that's called the High Performance Planner. I have one on my desk. And Brendan Burchard
Right.
is the the person that put this planner together. They're not expensive. It's not like these $300 planners. They're like $24. And they're really cool because it has an introduction that tells you all about how to use the planner. And then when you open it up, it's got some planning tools where you can plan for a month, plan for a week, and then it's got a day by day. And each day by day is 2 full 8.5 by 11 pieces of paper in a bound book. And it's got columns, and on the column, it's your morning mindset column.
Right.
And so you fill in the answer to 10 questions, one of which is something like, who is a person that needs me on my A game today?
Right.
If I was going to write one word that would characterize me today, what would it be? Things like this. And there's 10 of them. Then the inside is your actual planner, 6 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, where you can put in your what it is you want to do. There's also a space for 3 things I absolutely have to do today. And then on the far right side is your evening recap.
Yes.
How did I do?
Yes, I remember we were talking about that on a show called Habits to Help Seize the Day, actually.
Yeah. And so this is a great thing for helping people get organized, but not only that, but it helps with the attitude and mindset part, because it forces you to think about your mindset at the beginning of the day and then look back at the end of the day to see how you did and actually grade yourself.
Right. I was going to say there's a
1 through
section
5.
in there where you look back and actually see if you did any good by grading yourself. And that's pretty cool because it's accountability. Self-accountability is one of the things that works on,
Yeah, absolutely. So, we also, Rollie, have an issue where our planet and our society has a lot of toxins in them now.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Oh, for sure.
And a good part of self-improvement is to pick 1 or 2 things that you're going to commit to avoid toxins and perhaps also to do a cleanse. Self-improvement for September could be, I got to get cleansed of my toxins, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And so if you're going to pick 2 things to do to avoid, the 2 best ones are leave your shoes outside the house.
That's an easy one. We can do that.
And don't eat cooked meat over 300 degrees on dry heat.
Right.
You want to commit yourself to doing slow cooker on a lower temperature, or always add liquid, whether you're going to be baking things or broiling things. Have them in a pan where you can add a liquid, even if it's just water. That will stop the glycation that makes the toxins that are so bad for you in this overcooked meat. Leaving your shoes outside, because your shoes pick up toxins all day, whether it's in your workplace, walking on the sidewalk, walking in the grass. You bring them in the house, they off gas all night long, toxins. These are great self-improvement things. And then to get rid of toxins, we know superoxide dismutase helps with that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a big one. It scavenges the free radicals and the pathogens, or
The toxins.
the toxins. Sorry, it scavenges the free radicals and the toxins.
Yeah. And so people can get that in our sprouted barley seeds, right? Either heirloom barley or gladiator barley.
Exactly.
Does a really great detox. If you want to get rid of heavy metals, you can use a product called zeolite.
Yes.
Great, easy ways to do it. Don't start with both of them at the same time.
No,
It'll
you want to
be
go
too much detoxification.
Yeah, no. Use them a little bit between each other. That definitely would help.
The other thing, Rollie, I was thinking of is people usually have room for improvement in their diet.
Always. Yeah,
So
you could always eat a little better, right?
What to eliminate and what to eat more of, right? So obviously, finding out where the hidden sugars are, right?
Hidden sugars, lots of stuff. The carbs, sodas, we always talk about, things like that.
And there's even
processed
hidden
foods.
sugar in things like yogurt sometimes.
That's
right?
true.
So
Make it sweet.
there's a great book called The Sugar Impact Diet by J.J. Virgin.
That's a good one.
That people can get to find all those hidden sugars. But then also processed foods. If you're buying processed frozen foods, there's a lot of trans fats in them and other toxins, and they build up over time. Really bad for your health as time goes by, right? So make a little commitment in September that you're going to prepare some of your own meals, eat real foods, whole foods, and try to
Snack.
avoid the toxins
Healthy
as much
snacks
as you
with-
possibly can.
Avoid the chocolates and the sodas.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is September is self-improvement month. And if you stack a bunch of self-improvements, one on top of the other, right? Pick 3 or 4 that we're talking about that ring true with you and begin doing it. And you'll notice that as you stack these up, you'll start to feel different. And when you feel different, you're going to act differently in the future because it's pleasurable to have accomplishments.
Yep.
Right? And they say, hey, don't hurt your arm patting yourself on the back so hard.
Right.
Well, I say, go ahead. Right? I say,
That's
have a
great.
great day.
That's great.
Make your list of what you're going to do in your new planner.
Right.
Accomplish everything. Give yourself a great grade at the end of the day and pat yourself on the back.
Why not,
Okay.
man? It's a self-improvement month.
Right.
We talk about that in a couple other shows where you got to celebrate your win, you know?
Celebrate.
You know,
Right.
you got to
Exactly.
celebrate.
So there's the other one was a show we did on habits.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And so if people need help in developing these new habits, go and look at the podcast on habits.
Yeah,
It goes
Tiny
through
Habits. It's called Tiny
the whole
Habits.
thing with, the anchoring event, the behavior you want, and the celebration.
Exactly.
The celebration can be a pat on the back.
There you go.
Go for it.
There you go.
And be aggressive.
Yeah, well, don't do it too hard. Anyway, but yeah, man, so that's why we wanted to bring the news to you of the September self-improvement month. Like we always say, we always probably have a little bit of room for improvement, and it's your health. So, take advantage of it. Take care of it. You only have one body, right?
Yeah.
It's your temple. So, self-care. Take care of yourselves, man. Come on.
Hey, thanks everybody for watching Live Forever Young Radio and listening to Live Forever Young Radio. Rollie, thanks for joining in with us.
Always, Bob.
And we'll see everybody on the next show.
Thanks for listening to Live Forever Young Radio. Check us out at liveforeveryoungradio.com.